I mean, let's talk a little bit about what Jeb Bush has said in the past 24 hours. He said something about the Pope, and he's also said something about black people that I think are, I mean,
he let out his Mitt Romney, which we all knew was there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also sort of, I mean, have been saying for a while too that it just strikes me as like this guy doesn't want to win, and I sort of see some effort there, but I just see such ineptness. His son George P. is the Texas Land Commissioner, I think, or Water Commissioner, and
it's actually, I've heard, an important position in Texas.
Very important position actually in Texas, and he just did basically, he just fired like 20 people in the office, longtime sort of, I don't know if I would call them bureaucrats, but I guess bureaucrats, people who've worked in that office for a long time, to install all of his like campaign people and his friends from law school. And he is clearly, this guy clearly has ambitions that go far further than Texas. And he is the one that George Herbert Walker Bush, you'll recall, referred to as the little brown one when he was talking about his grandkids. I don't know if you remember that, Cliff.
I do, actually.
That was, I just remember how shocking that was. Like, the little brown one. And I'm quite convinced that in a family like Jeb Bush's, Jeb Bush saw it as his responsibility and basically his contribution to the family legacy to basically take George P. around the country and introduce him to his future donor base. And like this is part of the Bush network. These folks have been with Daddy and your uncle and now they're going to be with you. And in the meantime, I'm just going to travel around the country, get out of the house a little bit. I haven't been doing much. Raise the value of me on a board of directors, and that's it. And so, but tell people, I don't know. Start with the this was literally almost a quote from Romney, it seems to me.
Yeah, I mean I'm just trying to see.
Do we have the sound? We have the
sound.
I see
where he said it. That's the only thing that I'm not sure of, that I'm looking for. But the actual quote.
We have the sound. Where is it from, Matt?
Oh, yeah, play. Okay, you guys go ahead and play it.
Mount Pleasant, South Carolina.
Okay, so he's in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina.
It's like a town hall type event.
It's town hall event. He's being asked, how can you get black votes, essentially? And so here is, and we'll talk about really what he's doing here. He's not talking about outreach. Let me put it this way. When he says this stuff, the outreach that he's getting involved in is not to black people. Play the audio.
No.
Yes, sir.
Look around this room. How many black faces do you see? How are you going to include them and get them to vote for you? Because I don't think you're going to win without them.
So, great question. I've campaigned a lot in South Carolina, and our efforts are consistently embracing the great diversity of this state. We have African Americans in our leadership team. I have met with African American ministers. I'm focused on this not just in South Carolina, but across the country. Latino voters, the same thing. And if someone asks me a question in Spanish, just for the record, don't take offense that I answered in Spanish. It's not an offense to you. It's a respect for others. This idea that somehow people that speak another language aren't, like assimilated into our lives. Here's the dirty little secret: they speak both. So you campaign in a way that draws people towards your cause. That's what you need to do. And as it relates to African Americans, there is a way to do this. Look, think about it this way: 4%. Republicans get 4 to 7% maybe of the African American vote for president. Those are kind of the numbers that I hear about. If you double that, you're still at a low number, right? But if you double that, you win elections in places like Ohio and Virginia. And we should make that case, because our message is one of hope and aspiration. It isn't one of division and get in line and we'll take care of you with free stuff. Our message is one that is uplifting, that says you can achieve earned success. We're on your side.
There he goes. The 47% of moochers are back.
And so, I mean, understand.
So basically, to be clear to people, they didn't hear it that well. Our message is one of hope and aspiration. It isn't one of division. And get in line, and we'll take care of you with free stuff. Our message is one that is uplifting, that says you can achieve earned success.
What line do you think that he's talking about? For what line is it? Do you think that he's talking about? Where you get in line
it's the
and get
lazy
free
welfare
stuff?
mooches, and you
Right.
know that's what he's talking about.
Now, people should understand. This answer is not the question. How will you outreach to black folks? This answer is how will you make your white supporters feel comfortable with your perspective on black people? That is what the answer is saying. How will you make your white supporters feel comfortable that you're not an avowed racist but still maintain all of the racist tropes that we believe are true that make us
Can I
Republican?
translate that question? The question is, hi, can you be both paternalistic and condescending towards African Americans in what you say to me, while also saying that you do have some sympathy for the plight of others in this country, and if they'd only get up off of their lazy asses, they could do something. Go ahead.
I would even argue
that's what he's saying here, and it's the same as that 47%. It's the same as all that kind of stuff, and you know, I saw this immediately this morning, and I was like, not only is it incredibly stupid message and incredibly racist that'll be used against him, but I just get so sick of seeing it's like what Mitt Romney did when I see this stuff about you can achieve earned success, as if this jackass ever earned one bit of his success in his life. You know, as if, you know, I think I sent you when we were talking about what to talk about this morning, this article from Vanity Fair that we maybe even talked about before, I don't remember. About how much Jeb Bush's income skyrocketed when his dad was president, because all he went around doing was dropping his dad's name to make money. His income went up 1,500% while his dad was president. But this guy can dare stand there, and he really believes it, the way Mitt Romney really believes that he earned what he got. No, you know, it doesn't matter if his dad paid for his college and he had no debt. His dad bought him his first house. They gave him $600,000 in investments, whatever. You know, that's nothing.
Well,
you know what I mean? That's what everybody gets. We all get that at the start.
The other telling part is when Mitt Romney said back in the day, if his grandfather, I'm only paraphrasing here, but he basically said if his grandfather had stayed in Mexico and he had a Latino last name, Romney would have won the election, no problem. And now understand what has to go through someone's mind like Romney's to say such a thing. It is, despite the fact that my entire life and career was at the very least, greased, enhanced, enlarged, and made possible.
He was in his 30s, and they were doing the new private equity part of Bain, which became Bain Capital, not the management consulting division of it, but that in his mid to late 30s, he was handed this thing over to run. I'm sorry, that doesn't happen in most places to most people.
Well, look, I mean, the bottom line is his dad was governor of Michigan. His dad was president of the largest car company in America at the time, or maybe one of the
Secretary of Health and Human Services, the presidential candidate.
So the idea that his dad, first off, if his last name had been Ramirez, would have gotten those things in the 50s, in the 60s, is beyond absurd. Okay,
right.
So he in his mind, all he does is he just sees that in some way, this is Romney now, he sees that he is somehow, it's this aggrieved entitledness. Like, I am aggrieved because I don't have a Latino last name. That's why I'm not president now.
And you see,
Obama's got all the breaks by being black.
This is the stuff you see like online, and not just comment sections, but if you ever wander into the right-wing precincts for a couple minutes, or watch Fox News, you have all these white guys who really believe this stuff. They really believe that Kim Davis is defending them, and it's aggrieved, and that people are attacking their religion by wanting to be happy with each other. And it's like there's a point where they have such a lack of self-awareness that you just can't even argue with them. Well, because they have no clue what's been handed to them.
And what is Jeb Bush telling this white audience? He is telling them, look, here's how I get black people to vote for us. And again, we don't need many. Just I want to make that clear.
Right.
We do so
break
poorly.
10%, dude, we're set.
All we need is 10%. Now that's double what we get now. I mean, more than double.
Right.
So, but he's saying, here's how I get them in here. It's by telling you that you're aggrieved. It's by telling you, the white audience I'm talking to, you're aggrieved because they're getting stuff for free. And you guys, of course, you're not getting stuff for free. You're working for it. They're getting stuff for free. I mean, that's his response to how is he going to make the Republican Party more embracing by telling white people that they're aggrieved. And that's
a dude
it's
who's
just
his grandfather was a senator. I think it was his great grandfather helped found Brown Brothers Harriman. I mean, you go back far enough, you'll find every Carlyle Group, CIA, ambassador to China, president, governor of Texas. I mean, it goes on. And there's many other things I'm sure I've missed. I mean, it's like your whole life was handed to you, and stuff for free. Everything was given to him for free.